Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On July 6, 1887, the King of Hawaii, David Kalakaua, was forced to sign off on the 1887 Constitution of the Hawaiian Kingdom, thus ceding his monarchical powers to the legislature, effectively giving power to American and European wealthy traders along with the Hawaiian upper crust. Called the Bayonet Constitution because of the coercion involved, King David was compelled to sign the document under the threat of the anti-monarchist militia. Refusal to sign would have cost David his throne entirely, and perhaps his life. The Hawaiian Islands had gradually come under European and later American influence after the first encounter with Europeans in 1778. What remained of the monarchy was overthrown in 1893, replaced by a provisional government and then a republican government in 1894. In 1898, Hawaii was annexed by the United States. On July 7, 1992, the New York Court of Appeals, the highest state court in New York, ruled that women in that state have every bit as much a right to go bare-breasted as men do. As of 2019, only 6 states have decided that women are free to go topless, and that list may surprise you. Far from a roll call of the most liberal-leaning states, the states that allow female toplessness include Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma, mostly conservative states. Many states have ambiguous laws or laws that allow toplessness in limited circumstances, while 2 states, Indiana and Tennessee, outlaw the practice entirely. There is no federal law banning topless women. As a question for my students and subscribers, should American women be allowed to go topless anywhere men can? On July 8, 1874, about 300 newly recruited troopers of the Northwest Mounted Police began the trek westward to the vast prairie areas of Canada, what is now Manitoba and Alberta, to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. The Canadian government created this force to patrol and protect this area in the wake of violence that culminated in the Cypress Hills Massacre, a battle between white, native, and mixed-race hunters, trappers, and traders. The traveling to and life on the prairie was harsh, and many troopers took ill and some deserted. Still, the NWMP managed to keep the peace and prevent possible intervention by the U.S. government. In 1920, the NWMP was dissolved, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police was formed in its stead, today employing over 30,000 Canadians and 1,600 volunteer constables. On July 9, 2011, South Sudan seceded from Sudan and became the latest new African country. While Africa has been a center of creating new countries, a dizzying number of new sovereign nations have been formed since 1960. In 1960 alone, Africa went from having 9 independent nations to 26 countries, an incredible increase. Besides the erosion of imperialism, with nations gaining independence, other factors such as the union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar in 1964 created one less country. In 1991 and 1992, when the Soviet Union dissolved, the single nation became 12 separate nations. Other Soviet-era nations that split up into smaller countries include Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. In all, United Nations membership has gone from 82 members in 1958 to 193 members with the addition of South Sudan. On July 10, 2007, Turkish adventurer Erdin Eruş, almost 46 years old at the time, set off on what may be the greatest feat of human endurance and physical performance in history, the solo, only human-powered circumnavigation of the Earth. As if this feat was not daunting enough, he threw in making it a point to climb the tallest mountain on each continent as part of his trip. Eruş accomplished this feat by hiking, biking, rowing, kayaking, and canoeing, all using his own muscular power. The trip spanned over 41,000 miles and took over 5 years and 11 days to complete, an accomplishment recognized by Guinness World Records. Other incredible feats of human endurance include Dean Karnazes running non-stop for over 80 hours, covering 350 miles in 2005, and Sarah Thomas swimming a record 104.6 miles in 67 hours in open water in 2017. What is the greatest physical feat by a human? On July 11th, 1979, America's first space station, Skylab, re-entered Earth's atmosphere and disintegrated over the Indian Ocean and Australia. Launched in 1973 to great public excitement, Skylab is the only space station to be operated only by the U.S. Children were invited by NASA to submit ideas for experiments to be conducted on Skylab, and the author of the article this video is based on submitted an experiment with welding in space. The experiment was not accepted, but a participation letter was issued. Skylab was only occupied for 171 of the over 2,200 days it spent in orbit, its lifespan limited by the inability of NASA to reboost the station to maintain orbit. The Space Shuttle program was planned to reboost Skylab, but that program came too late. On July 12, 1979, the island nation of Kiribati came into being as the Republic of Kiribati, a group of islands in the Gilbert Island chain of Oceania in the Pacific Ocean. Prior to independence, Kiribati was a territory of the United Kingdom. Consisting of a single island and 32 coral atolls, the nation is home to about 120,000 residents. The main island and capital, Tarawa Atoll, itself is divided into North and South Tarawa Islands. Half the population of Kiribati lives on Tarawa. World War II in the Pacific saw a terrible battle over Tarawa between the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps and the Imperial Forces of Japan in 1943, a bloody three-day battle that saw over 1,000 U.S. Marines killed and over 4,600 Japanese deaths. The grim battle resulted in only 17 captured Japanese survivors. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.